everybody, and welcome to our webinar presented by Velmie and Exberry. My name is Paul, I'm CMO at Velmie, and today we are going to talk about how to build a future-proof crypto exchange solution. With me today, I have my colleague Carl Johan, who is head of partnerships. And from Exberry side, we have Yaniv, head of business development, and Magnus, head of sales at Exberry. We will start with a short introduction of both companies and then discuss the main agenda. At the end, we will take questions. So in case if you have anything to ask, feel free to put your questions in the chat. First of all, a little bit about Velmie. So we are a fintech software solutions provider and have been building banking systems for more than 12 years now. This, of course, gives us great insight on how the market works and how it shifts towards the new technology. And cryptocurrency, of course, is one of the key disruptors of the financial industry. And for several years in a row, we are facing strong demand from institutions that are keen to make it available to their customers. Since 2017, when we first built a tokenized payment solution with the Central Bank of Tunisia, our tech kept evolving until this moment when we got an enterprise crypto trading software built together with our partners from Exberry. And Yaniv, could you introduce Exberry to our audience?
Yes, of course. Thank you, guys, and thank you, Paul. And hello, everyone. As Paul said, I'm Yaniv. I'm leading the business development and partnerships here in Exberry. So Exberry, we've basically built the next generation infrastructure for exchanges and trading in capital markets. If you look at the technology behind the scenes of exchanges, it's a very old technology. Sometimes 20, 30 years old technology. We've built a completely different technology that is first cloud native, which gives us the possibility to be much more flexible and agile. Our technology is totally asset agnostic. We've built a cloud native matching engine, which is asset agnostic. So it doesn't matter what kind of market you want to open tomorrow morning, we can support it. We are supporting any kind of asset, basically. It can be, from highly regulated exchanges or to a very innovative kind of tropical new assets, and of course, crypto. We are serving three main segments from national stock exchanges that looking to innovate, looking to replace their outdated technology, looking to tap to new markets, to digital securities exchanges, digital asset marketplaces, and the third segment would be banks. Our solution is also totally agnostic to any kind of blockchain. So basically we can sit on top of any blockchain. So basically our solution is capital market grade. We are coming from the capital markets and is basically replacing the outdated technology we see in the markets today. This is just in a nutshell what we are doing.
Cool, thank you. And I guess we can move on to the agenda. One of the key topics is delivery model. Today, software as a service seems to be the most common approach across the industry, but this exact solution is delivered as self-hosted software. Carl, maybe you can explain the reasons behind that.
Sure, happy to. To answer that, let me go back in time and tell a bit about how Velmie evolved there. So when we first started this, well, it was called banking tech back then, this journey, we thought that, well, our solution will also be delivered as a software as a service solution. We quickly learned that that is not the case when it comes to our type of solution. So I remember one time, this is, I don't know, maybe 9-10 years ago now, we had one instance, we had 5 clients sharing the same backend code, and it was like a nightmare to manage the change request. So we do it, of course, way differently. Our product is way differently than what the guys from Exberry do. They have a best of breed solution where this is suitable. But for us, the deliveries model is, we call it, we call it host it yourself. That doesn't mean that you have to host it like as a person. It means that the solution is hosted yourself. So we can host it, you can host it, anybody can host it, but it's just that it's one entity that handle everything that you do. So you have the instance, you own the instance, you're responsible for the instance, you own the code. And of course, from a regulatory point of view, this is great when you're opening something up. So what we do is we basically take call it the white label system that we have, we fix it with all the connectors, adjust it to what you would like, and give it to you. And here you can go play. Now, of course, we'll support you all the way, but in essence, that's kind of what we do.
And it always comes to the advantages. So what are the benefits for end clients with this approach?
The benefits of this is we call it being future proof. Because when you have a solution, everybody have an idea that I'm going to open an exchange, it's going to look like, I don't know, X. And in 2 years, it's going to look like Y. And we all have this kind of mental image. Now, reality is, of course, different because, and especially in this market, it changes so rapidly. So, I mean, just we at Velmie, we kind of know what we will focus on a couple of months into the future. It always changes and you just have to go with the flow. Now, if you have a delivery model like this, you can be truly agile and you can let your business decision kind of control what your business will be doing. You will not be kind of locked in with the tech. And I'm sure we can talk about more like later how that actually works. But let me give you an example that I think everybody knows about in this business. KYC. Couple of years ago, everybody did KYC the same way. People, went to a web page. It was, smile. They took a picture, and then some logic in the back end. We had the picture. We have a great KYC module in our platform, and we have spent so many man hours building that. And it's great. Today, we can't give it away because who would be stupid enough to use that? It's just going to cost you money because you need to hire staff. Staff needs to be controlled. It's just going to be a mess. Now, of course, we could have kind of foreseen a couple of years ago that the market would take this route, but you can't kind of build and prepare for something like this. When the market changes, you kind of have to change with it. And if you're a smaller operation and you don't have a gazillion employees, it's like impossible to do that if you don't kind of own the solution and run it the way that you want to run it. So owning the source code, owning the solution, owning the hosting, it means that the business will control the journey that you will take. Now, of course, just because we don't call it that it's software as a service delivery model doesn't mean that software as a service is outdated. Absolutely not. That's perfect. Just look at Exberry, you do it greatly. It's just that for a solution that we offer, you would be hindered if you had that solution and you wouldn't be able to grow. So that's kind of it.
Thank you. And actually, when it comes to the delivery, what are the key components that clients are getting with this platform?
Oh, yeah, that's fun because we all want to get something when we buy something. What you get is you get the backend, and the backend for this is it's kind of a miniaturized version of our fiat platform. So you actually get a core banking platform, just like the big ones use. You have that, and then you have different proxies that connect to different vendors, best of breed vendors. So like connect to Exberry and they do their thing. Then you, of course, have your interfaces. So you have web interfaces for clients, web interfaces for admins in many different flavors. And of course, the apps is there as well, because everybody wants to go, app first today. So you have that, and it's, it's like a package with a small ribbon on it, even though the tech is called it differently, that you can just upload and host wherever, or of course, we fix it for you. So that's kind of what you get. That's in the package.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you. And let's move ahead. So, Magnus, what are the key things often overlooked by clients when they are starting with the exchange platforms? Maybe you can explain and point out these critical things.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you very much for that. Absolutely. And one of the key components that we see over and over again when we speak to prospects looking at our matching engine technology and our combined Velmie Exberry solution is that they've started with maybe an in-house built or open source matching engine that for sure was fit for purpose initially. It caters well for low volumes, for a narrow set of asset classes that they initially thought they were going to offer for trading. But as they launch and as they learn more about the market and as volumes pick up, and also in step with regulatory pressures and higher expectations from customers grow, then that matching engine is just not fit for purpose anymore. And matching engines are an integral part. It's the core, it's the heart of any kind of exchange or marketplace, really. So it's complicated to swap out, and it's a very risky project. You kind of need to do a hard swap out, and you're going from one day at the old tech and then the next day on the new tech. So it's a hard, big switch. So think hard about it. The matching engine is a crucial part of your infrastructure. To make sure it's future proof, you need an agile, flexible matching engine that is asset class agnostic. It goes without saying that you want it operating in the cloud to give you the elasticity you need intraday and the scalability that you need long term to kind of grow with your market. And also to keep your operating costs low, of course. And an important point to add to that, though, which kind of chimes into the discussion just now, is that while we say it's cloud native and it's delivered as a SaaS, we can, if it's required, we can still deploy it anywhere. So we can drop the system into physical hardware, into a private cloud, into clients' existing public cloud accounts. Or we can host it in our cloud environment. So it really depends on the operational environment and the regulatory environment that the customers exist in. So then that's what really excites me about this partnership, is that the Velmie delivery model and the Exberry model, we go hand in hand. Where it really matters, then you have full control and you have it installed and you can run your own processes as you must. And then where you need sort of speed, reliability, and really fast, efficient solutions for the actual matching logic, then we provide that as a SaaS. And to boost that a little bit, a single instance is benchmarked up to 1.5 million TPS sustained at the fourth quartile. We see a very respectable 20 microsecond latency at around 200 TPS. So we actually pair ourselves really well with the strongest, fastest matching engines out there that are installed on physical hardware. So yeah, I think that's a good initial scene setter. So over to you, Paul.
Cool, thank you.
Just to add something on what Magnus and Carl already said, is that yes, the markets are changing all the time, and even more the crypto markets, right? And the changes are coming from several angles. Regulators that looking for and ask us to build and push us to build a much solid solutions. And we see in the requirements that many of the companies, the existing companies that we are working with, and even the new ones, looking to have a much solid solution in the tech side. So this is requirements they have from the regulators. And I think this is in the core of this partnership with Velmie. We picked, I think, two companies that are coming from a solid kind of industries, big industries, which is Velmie from the banking industry and Exberry from the capital markets, and together represent a solution which is more solid in a tech side and meets the regulatory requirements and have all the components that needs to have there into the future and can support you when you are growing and growing your business.
Yeah, exactly. And I also wanted to ask Magnus about the key challenges. You're obviously talking to many founders of crypto exchange platforms. Maybe you can share some insights on that as well.
Yeah, sure. They are facing quite a lot of common challenges, actually. And one of them is the quality of the liquidity they offer. How can they ensure a stable and narrow spread liquidity that is attractive in an increasingly competitive space, where we're talking about around 400 crypto exchanges in the world today. Why should a customer go to your exchange when there are so many out there to choose from? And the key there for any market is the quality of the liquidity. And what that means is that you need a very stable latency, you need a very predictable latency, and you need a very stable access. And of course, you need good, strong liquidity providers who continuously stream attractive prices. And all of that needs to be underpinned by really, really strong technology. And that's where the Velmie Exberry combination, of course, come to full force.
And what about the wider industry? Let's say customers of crypto exchanges, what are the changes for them?
Yeah, and that chimes very closely into what Yaniv talked about just now. I think the crypto industry is facing, I think, a very, very interesting challenge here. It differs fundamentally from other financial markets in that it was initially adopted by retail, and institutionals are now scratching their heads wondering how they can enter the market. And I think that is, for the wider industry, this is a cornerstone that needs to be resolved and fixed. Because if you look at it from a kind of helicopter point of view, the crypto industry is a few trillion, which relative then to the bond market, the equity market, the swaps markets out there is a very, very small market. So in order to really grow it to the next level, the institutionals need to enter. And of course, these two different pools of customers have very, very different expectations. Right? For retail, it's ease of access, ease of onboarding, and ease of kind of depositing and withdrawing money and so on. The institutionals, on the other hand, they're talking about, they need prime brokerage, they need custody solutions, they need standardization of data and standardization of products. So here, I think the customers that we speak to, with our background, Velmie being a banking solution, core banking solution, and us coming from the institutional world with a regulator grade matching engine, I think we have a perfect solution that addresses both of these customer pools.
Thank you, Magnus. And when it comes to founders, I think what they are talking about is scalability as well when it comes to the software. And Carl is a good person to explain how we reached the level of scalability in this solution. Carl, what would you say?
Well, if we look at where a lot of crypto markets are today, we're seeing the same thing there as we saw with neobanks, 5, 6, 7 years ago, that you have kind of your company and you're doing well, and then since everything is evolving so quickly, you kind of try to throw everything into it because you have so many different customers, you want to cater to everybody, and it's so easy to sit with your whiteboard and kind of like, we add this, we add that, and world domination. Now, of course, when you do that, your solution it's going to be so heavy. And we have seen, the ups and downs of different neobanks that we have seen when some people, they kind of add too much, that all of a sudden it's like an IT problem. It shouldn't be there. Nobody should know if you have an IT problem, but you can actually see that. So, and that is kind of why we have this approach. For you to be like really scalable, you have to be in control, and you shouldn't do what other people are doing. So like Magnus said about Exberry being best of breed matching engine, that's great. Now we at Velmie, we have our own matching engine. Don't use it because Exberry is like so much better. So instead, take the approach of, like, you use the Velmie for the core thing. Think of it just as a ledger. I mean, it's like a banking platform, and then you connect all these things that are so great. Then you can really grow, and you can scale, not just from like a technical point of view that you can onboard unlimited number of users, but also you can scale your business. You can add these functionalities. So I don't know, imagine that you're sitting there and the marketing manager comes in and says, hey, we're going to add a new card program to our platform. And you say, great, I'll call you in 2029 when we have built this. It's going to be great. We'll have a cup of coffee and everybody gets mad. Now, if you take instead, I don't know what to call it. I've heard API orchestration or whatever, that you have like one system that connects the best of breed. You can actually add these and scale the functionality into basically whatever you want within hopefully months, and you have it in your system, and you can scale, you can grow both the number of users and of course the functionality that will attract these number of users.
Okay, and how is it possible to get to this point with API first approach? How does it help clients with building these kind of systems?
Well, we have, I don't know what to call it, API first approach or something like that, with some kind of marketplace with partners around the corner. So we have a partner network, like huge. We have lots of partners. So if you're using the Velmie system and then you want to scale up with a new functionality or something, like, don't build it. Instead, come and ask us. Chances are that we have someone that have the functionality that you're looking for, pre-built connectors ready for the system, and basically you just have to pull the switch. It's not really that easy, but at least in comparison to building it yourself, it's actually just pulling a switch. So whatever it is that you're looking for, I don't know, new KYC provider, advanced AML, card issuing accounts in weird places of the world that fill with vowels, or some kind of, I don't know, loyalty programs or whatever. Don't build it. Ask us. Chances are we have it already and we can just plug it in, and you can scale like your business within months instead of planning for 3 years into the future. That's short what it is.
Thank you, Carl. And I see there are some questions we already have in the chat, so let's take.
Just to add one small thing on what
Sure.
Carl said. I think that
Yeah.
time to market is crucial here.
Yeah.
So if you are using partners, or if you are using technology that you already have, so time to market will be much faster.
Yeah.
So it will take months to add some new component, or add some new features, or add some new capabilities to your exchange. Then develop it by yourself, and there is no reason to develop everything. We are not Amazon, right? So that's a good point. So time to market it's really crucial when talking about new markets and the speed of how things are moving in this crypto market.
Mm. And one small comment there, like I should have mentioned that Salesforce is a good example. Salesforce took this approach like years ago, that they are building their core and they do what they do best. That's what they focus on. Now, of course, they quickly realized that the request that they got from the millions of users they have, there's no way they can handle it. So instead they have their, I don't know what they call it, Salesforce, their partner place or whatever. It's basically API connections, but you have to build a solution in such a way so that if you're using Salesforce as your CRM or whatever it's called, and you want to add a functionality, yeah, chances are it's somebody already done it, and it's good, and it's easier to evaluate. You can see it's going to cost me X. I think I'm going to make this. The decision process is super easy instead of just guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, guys. And Yaniv, one of the questions was about the predictions of crypto market. How do you see it, say, in the next year?
So that's not a question for me, I guess. That's a question for, I don't know, for the presidents of the world, or the central bank, or I don't know. But I cannot predict the market. I only say that I'm in the crypto markets from 2016, and I saw several cycles of markets going up and down. I'm pretty bullish on crypto market, on crypto markets in general. Just to emphasize, Exberry in general, we are serving all kinds of markets. We have clients that doing highly regulated exchanges, doing oil and spots on gold, and we have very innovative kind of markets doing esports and music, and some of the markets are crypto. So crypto, from our perspective, is just one kind of asset. because there are so many digital assets out there. Okay, so in the near future, we're going to see more and more new futuristic markets, and not only crypto. But everyone really likes to talk about crypto because, you know, crypto is out there and it's in the media, and everyone talks about crypto. And in the last year, everyone talks about NFT. So it's not matter like where the markets are going. It's more matter if are you believe in this industry? Are you believe in the crypto and what it's basically saying, like centralized versus decentralized? Are you a big believer in blockchain and the blockchain technology? I can say something that I'm saying for many years. Blockchain is here to stay. Blockchain is happening. Blockchains are used by many companies around the globe. We build one of our solutions based on Algorand, which is Nebula, one of our white label end-to-end solution. We are blockchain agnostic. So yes, blockchain is here. Blockchain technology is used. If all the crypto coins are going to be here forever, I don't think so. Yes, I really believe in Bitcoin. I really believe in Ethereum, but in general, the crypto market, what's interesting here is the promise of the technology of blockchain. That's what I.
Thank you. You mentioned NFT, and we also got a question from Mohammed about the compatibility of Exberry with NFT tokens. And I think this is a topic that worth talking about the software being asset agnostic. And Carl, Magnus, I think you can explain better on that.
Sure. Yeah, that is one of the great advantages here, is that we've built what is fundamentally an asset class agnostic infrastructure. So while you have a specific asset class in mind when you launch your market, you are then free to kind of launch out, branch out, and expand beyond that. So if you're looking at crypto pairs initially, and then you want to launch NFTs, or where you want to launch, you know, and those NFTs can of course represent whatever physical asset or digitized asset that you wanted to, then you can start trading those on the same matching engine, on the same underlying technology. And then beyond that, what is, you know, we're soon not talking about crypto anymore. We're talking about Web3, and you want to be on kind of visible and available in the Web3 environment. We will help you with that too.
Thank you. We are also often asked about the timeline, about how long does it take to go to the market with this platform. Carl, what would you say on that?
It depends. And I know people hate that answer, but it really, really depends. Now, if a client comes to us and say, okay, I know what I'm going to do, and I know I'm going to do X, and this, you know, I'm going to host it here, and I'm regulated for this, and blah, blah, blah. Easy, 1 month. Nothing weird. So if you have your ducks in a row, 1 month. The reality, however, is different. So I say never plan with 1 month, even though when client comes to us and say, we have all this, and they actually show me that they have that, I never say 1 month because things happen. So say 2-3 months, you should be up and running, and you know your first MVP is out there, onboarding clients, no problem. So let's say 3 months, but that's the short answer. The long answer can be anything.
Thank you, Carl. And now it's time to get to the most important question. So, Magnus, how do you handle the security?
Sure. Yeah, that is crucial, right? Of course. And we see just in the last couple of weeks, we've seen, I think, two harrowing stories relating to the crypto world where people have lost assets due to activities that you perhaps don't want to see on your platform. So we take that very, very seriously. Our reputation, our future success is very much underpinned by our customers being safe and secure and not being hacked. So we jump through all the hoops and loops we are aware of to make sure our services and solutions are safe. It's architectured into the solution. So whenever we do a change, We have a security audit, a security kind of protocol questionnaire that we go through and make sure that everything that we implement is from the very core, from the very way we write the code and the way we architecture things, that it is done so with security in mind. On top of that, we're SOC 2 certified, and as many of our customers are regulated entities, with that comes a very onerous kind of ability to prove that we are safe and secure. So we have very strict controls, including regular pen tests and security audits in place. And we also then have the means and the methods to demonstrate and prove to customers and authorities that we meet these very stringent requirements.
Cool. And I think it's time to wrap up as we are running out of time. So
maybe we have a few more questions. Maybe that finance. I see Darren asked.
Oh yeah, sorry, I somehow missed that question.
So maybe Carl, Magnus, you can elaborate more on that. It's interesting.
We already know what Carl is going to say. It depends, but he can elaborate on that. You're on mute, Carl.
Sorry, I'm scrolling through the questions here. Which one are we on?
It's about the financial model, like financial terms, I guess.
Yeah. Again, it depends, because we have a model, but we don't follow it because everyone's case is unique. Reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat. Reach out and we'll figure something out. We're actually quite nice.
I see a question here from Sam. How does Exberry matching engine compare to the big boys? We are not comparing ourselves too much to the big boys in the crypto space. We are more comparing ourselves in our capabilities to the big boys in the capital market space. As Magnus said, we've built our technology. We are coming from capital markets, means that we can support, the traditional kind of market. So our matching engine, as for your question, is in the highest tier that you can expect and you can get from a technological kind of matching engine solution. So yeah.
Just before this, I participated in a luncheon in the city of London, talking to institutional players wanting to enter the crypto space, and one of their biggest complaints was just how unreliable the kind of biggest crypto exchanges in the world actually are. The latency is measured in sort of hundreds of milliseconds, and also varies tremendously. So a key measurement is how predictable your latency is, and we're very proud of being so accurate in being on the kind of 99.99 percentile. We measure persistently 20 micros under heavy loads, and that is a very strong number. And that, for new exchanges entering this market, that is a key selling point. And I think back to the previous question we had, what is the future of the crypto market? And I think it pivots around actually managing to attract the institutions. That's when you expand from a 2-3 trillion market to a 30 trillion market, and that's of course what's needed here. And that's only done if you're underpinned by reliable, proper technology.
Okay, cool. Are there any other questions or topics we could miss today?
I've just added my email and Magnus's email here in the chat. So everyone here in the chat, if you're willing to talk with us, I guess Carl and Paul, you can add your emails. So if anyone wants to talk with us and want to hear more, and if you've got a project to build, whatever, feel free to shoot us an email. Find us also on LinkedIn maybe, and we can talk further about everything.
Yeah, if anyone got more questions, feel free to reach out to us. As Carl says, we are quite nice and open for conversation. So thank you for joining our webinar, and we'll be waiting for your emails.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thanks a lot.
everyone.
Have a good
Thank you
one.
all very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.